There has always been a war for the soul of God's people, and in every generation the Lord raises men and women who refuse to bow. Long before our time, long before our comforts, long before our fear of being disliked, there were those who stood when standing meant death. Before Abraham was the father of nations, he was a lone voice in a world drowning in idols. Nimrod, the mighty king, the hunter of men, the builder of towers, commanded the world to worship creation instead of the Creator. His empire demanded silence, his altars demanded conformity, his throne demanded fear. But Abraham would not bow. He shattered the idols of his father's house. He rejected the gods of his generation. He stood before the throne of Nimrod and declared that there is only one God in heaven. And when Nimrod cast him into the fire, Abraham walked out untouched, because courage always draws the presence of God. Abraham's courage became the spark that ignited a nation. Centuries later, another empire rose. Another king demanded silence. Another culture demanded compromise. Daniel lived in a world that celebrated rebellion and punished righteousness, a world where truth was outlawed and flattery was rewarded, a world where the faithful were expected to blend in, stay quiet, and bow when commanded. But Daniel opened his windows. He prayed anyway, he stood anyway, he spoke anyway. And when the lions roared, heaven shut their mouths. Daniel's courage became a testimony that no empire, no decree, no king, and no culture can silence a heart anchored in God. From Abraham to Daniel, from the prophets to the apostles, from the early martyrs to the reformers, the story has always been the same. When the world grows godless, God raises the courageous. And that story is not finished. Today, while many believers in comfortable nations stay silent out of fear of being disliked, there are brothers and sisters across the world who stand for Christ at the cost of everything. In parts of the Middle East, believers gather in secret, whispering hymns in basements, knowing discovery could mean imprisonment or worse. In regions of Africa, churches are burned, pastors are targeted, and entire communities face violence simply for bearing the name of Christ. In parts of Asia, believers are monitored, restricted, and punished for sharing the gospel. Some lose jobs, some lose families, some lose freedom, yet they stand. They stand with the same courage as Abraham. They stand with the same resolve as Daniel. They stand with the same fire as the apostles, and heaven stands with them. But what about us? What about the believers who fear being unfollowed more than being unfaithful? What about the Christians who fear awkward conversations more than spiritual compromise? What about the church that fears losing influence more than losing conviction? Silence is not safety. Silence is surrender. And surrender always leads to compromise. A compromised church becomes a powerless church. A powerless church becomes a persecuted church. But a courageous church, a church that speaks truth in love, a church that refuses to bow to the idols of culture, a church that stands firm even when the world mocks, that church becomes unstoppable. When you stand for Christ, you stand in a long line of the faithful. Abraham stands beside you, Daniel stands beside you, the apostles stand beside you, the persecuted church stands beside you, and the Lord himself stands before you. This is the hour for courage. This is the hour for conviction. This is the hour for the people of God to rise, stand for Christ, speak with faith, live with boldness, shine with truth. For the world may be godless, but the people of God are not alone.